Hello dear students, let us begin our today's session with a continuation of the introduction part which I had done in my last session. So this was a agenda that was shown in my previous class. We were discussing about the definition, right? Yes. So we have still few more things in connection with the definition of the term database or database management system. We had discussed certain implicit properties, right? Yes. So after discussing certain things related to the nature of the database system, then we shall discuss about the characteristics. Okay. So let me start again with some more important properties of database management system. Well, in the last discussion we had discussed about the metadata, right? Yes, the database definition or the descriptive information which is stored by the DBMS in the form of a database catalog, and it is termed as dictionary or the metadata. So normally we go for which term? The metadata itself. Now, we are having certain things when we store information in the database. That is, as you all are observing the highlighted terms here, constructing, manipulating, sharing. Yes. So what is the very first thing? Constructing the database is a process of storing the data on some storage medium that is controlled by the DBMS. So whenever we need to save certain information, we normally choose where exactly the data has to be stored, right? So constructing the database, in the sense we are creating something like table in the MS Access and all, right? Yes. So here also in the Oracle we will be saving the, creating the database by defining certain rules for that data what you are storing with the help of a table, and that we call it as constructing the database. And it is this procedure involves storing that information in some storage medium. So it could be what, some secondary storage device where you are storing the information. Either it could be stored in the which one, main memory, or in the secondary memory. Okay. So manipulating a database includes functions such as querying the database or retrieve specific data, updating the database or reflect changes in the mini world, and generating reports from the data. It's not that you're simply constructing the database. After constructing the database, there are situations where we require certain things to be changed. Some changes has to be done to the database, and that we call it as manipulating. And manipulating involves what are the things? So whatever you have stored in the database, sometime you may need to retrieve certain information from that. You may want to search. So that is what how you are searching the data that you are stored in the database, by framing a query. So for example, if I want a particular student information who has scored in a particular subject above 90%. I want the list of students who have scored above 90% in a particular subject. So I should frame a query in order to get those list of students information. There are numerous student information in the database, but I require only the students who have scored above 90% in a particular subject. In which subject I should mention that. Okay. So for example, in the database concepts and Oracle, where the subject name is equal to what, database concepts and Oracle. So this is what you mean by querying. Then updating the database to reflect changes in the mini world. So I have given one example. In case if your residential address get changed, so you need to inform it in the which one, college office, about the change of the address. So that is what we call it as, the old address will be removed and new address will be saved there. So updating the database to reflect the changes in the real world, and generating reports from the data. So sometimes what happens, it's not simply saving the data, it's not simply viewing the data that is stored. Sometimes we may want to get the data in a form of a report. You all are knowing the meaning of a report. For example, I may want a detail of a particular student, so in the form of a hard copy, so I or it could be a soft copy. So if I want to generate the information in a report format, so even that is one of the manipulation we are doing. Okay, then next is sharing. Sharing a database allows multiple users and programs to access the database simultaneously. So what is it? I had told you that when we are using a database, it is not a one category of user using that data. Student database is used by a faculty as well as person who are present in the college office uh, for many different purposes. Faculties may be using the student database only in order to monitor the attendance part or marks part or anything like that. Whereas college office may be for some other purpose. Okay, so like that, one data what we store is shared by multiple users. Okay, and it should have the ability to give the access to other users for certain purposes, but with some certain restrictions. Okay, then an application program accesses the database by sending queries or request for data to the DBMS. That is, uh, assume that you have created a student table, you have stored the information of a student. Okay, roll number, name, address, etc. etc. You're storing about a student. Now, I require a program or what we call as SQL, structured query language. We are using that. It is an application program with the help of which I am framing a query and I am typing it, and on executing that query I'll be getting the stored information to be viewed. Are you all understanding? So an application program accesses the database by sending queries or requests for data to the DBMS. So how to access the data that we have stored in the database? We are supposed to use a particular application program. So this application program helps the user to make use of the data that is stored in the database. Okay, and these application program uses which methodology? It is going to make use of some query system, like we have to write a query. So what is this query? How to write this query? We will be learning that in the next topics and all. Okay, so for time being, you understand that we have to frame a query. Query means some question that uh, give me the list of students who have scored the marks above 90% in the subject database concepts and Oracle. So I have given my query as a statement, right? So this is what the query I'm choosing to get the information stored in the database. But the way of writing the query, it is having certain pattern, and we will be teaching you that in the next sessions. Okay, and that query is also called as what? Some request what we are making to the database to fetch from the information what it is storing. Okay, fine. Now, yes, it's now time to discuss about the term query. So what is that? A query typically causes some data to be retrieved. A transaction may cause some data to be read and some data to be written into the database. So whatever my request, what information I want to view from the which one database, what I have stored, I will be getting that data to be viewed with the help of a query. So some data that is stored in the backend, I'm with the help of query I'm viewing that. For example, list the students who are studying in first BCA. Okay, so this is my one particular query, and a transaction may cause some data to be read. So what is a transaction? If whether you are saving the data in a computerized manner or in a ledger or book and all, at some later stage you may want to view the data. You may want to edit, modify the data what you have stored. So all these operations are referred as transaction. Some operation what you are doing on the stored data. So a transaction may cause what? Certain data to be read and certain data to be written into the data. For example, it could be some modification or some new data you may be adding. All these are referred as what? A transaction. Then other important functions provided by the DBMS include protecting the database and maintaining it over a long period of time. So what do you mean by protecting the database? How it is getting damaged? See, whenever we are storing our data, then as I have referred, there are multiple users who are using that one common database. One student database may be used by many users. So it's not that all the users are given the equal priority to access the student database. So some users may be given high privilege to access the data. Some users may be given some minimum priority to use the data. Are you all understanding? That is, one particular user may have the which one authority or priority to read the data, modify the data, or delete the data, anything. But another user may not have all those options. That user may simply view the data. That user may not be given to write, read, to modify the data, to delete the data. These rights are not may not be given to that particular user. So as I have taken a term called as database administrator is there to look after all these things, to protect the data that is stored in the database and maintaining it over a long period of time. So how to maintain the data for a long period of time? All these are some of the major uh, things involved in maintaining a database. Okay. Protection. What is that protection? How to protect the database? It includes system protection against hardware or software malfunctions or crashes, and security protection against unauthorized or malicious access. So how to protect the data? Certain, for example, in whichever the system you are storing the database, that system may get crashed, or it may something happen in the software. So certain backup methodologies should be present in the which one database what we are maintaining. And security protection in the sense, like as I have told you, as there are multiple users, we should take care whichever the user is using the student database or any database, whether they are the valid user, authorized users, whether they are given the privilege or permission to access the database. All such things has to be verified. Okay. And a typical large database may have a life cycle of many years, so the DBMS must be able to maintain the database system by allowing the system to evolve as requirements changes over time. So whenever a database is created, it is not that we are using it only for some small period of time. It will be created in the intention that it will be useful for certain long period. So as they have mentioned, there are certain databases which have a life cycle of many years. So the DBMS must have the ability to maintain the database system by allowing the system to evolve as requirements changes over the time. The meaning here is, when we are maintaining a database for some long period of time, so as time passes, there are certain modifications or new requirements may be found in the real world, and the data system, the database what we are maintaining since some period of time, that database should allow the user to change or modify the things according to the new requirements that we face in the real world. Okay. So that is what you mean by the DBMS should be able to maintain the database system by allowing the system to evolve, to change as requirements changes over the time. Fine. Now let us take an example of a database. Till now we discussed about the nature of it, some important properties of it. So let me uh, explain you about a database with one simple example, and then later we shall discuss about the characteristics. Okay. So first one, A simple example that most readers may be familiar with, a university database. So even I'm taking the institution or the college requirement or the domain of a college or institution to make you all understand easily with the things. So a university database for maintaining information concerning the students, the courses and the grades in a university environment. So university environment, I can call it as a one domain, university domain. Here the university may want to store which type of information about a student, about the courses information, about the grade, that is result, right? So these may be the three important information the university database may want to store. Excuse me. So now in my example, I'll show you the pattern of the database that is being designed. Okay. So the following figure, the coming up slides will be shown with certain templates which shows the database structure and few sample data for such a database. The database is organized as 5 files, each of which stores data records of the same time. Okay, so it is a database is actually is organizing how many files? 5 files, and each of which stores certain data records. So each of them are storing certain record in a particular file of the same type. Same type means, for example, student file. Student is going to maintain students information is going to maintain only the student data record. Similarly, courses may maintain only the records of the courses. Similarly, grades, it may hold the information only with respect to the result of a student. Okay, like that. The student file stores data on each student. The course file stores data on each course. The section. So in the above statement they have told the database is organized as 5 files. So in my example I have taken 5 files. So first file is student file, second one is course file, third file is what? The section file. What is it? It stores data on each section of a course. And grade report file, it stores the grades of that student received in the various section they have completed. And the prerequisite file stores the prerequisite of each course. So you may be confused with those terms like section, prerequisite and all. I'll make you clear in the next slide now. Okay, so now to define this particular database, we must specify the structure of the records of each file by specifying the different types of data elements to be stored in each record. So before we define the database, or to define the database, we must mention, we should decide the structure of the records what we are supposed to store. I mean, a student file is holding the student records, right? So that record should hold what type of data in it. Student file should hold what type of information in it. We should define that. Okay, and it is very easy, students. Just check out, recall in the previous FIT sessions we had created the MS Access table. So you have decided student table, and what was the information you had decided to store in that student table? Roll number, class, subject, the marks 1, marks 2, marks 3, gender information, date of birth, like this. Okay, so that is what I'm telling. When you are defining a database, like for example, when you are defining a student file, okay, that student record should hold what type of information, what type of data it should hold, that has to be defined. Okay, now observe in this particular what design, each student record includes data to represent the student name, student number, class. So class, here observe students such as freshman or 1, sophomore or 2 and so forth. It means what? For example, if it is first year students, second year students, third year students, like that. That is what the term it is taken. So as the book author of this particular book as considered the which one, university picture of some foreign country, there the class information like the first year, second year, third year, it is being defined in such a way. Like for first year students, it is something like freshman. For the second year, like sophomore, like that. Okay. And major. Major means what? Which is a program they have selected. For example, such as mathematics or math or computer science or CS. So that is what the a program that is being chosen by the student. Each course record includes data to represent the course name. So course file is there. Course will be trying to define which is a type of course. What is a course name? For example, database concepts and Oracle is one of the course name. What is a number? We have subject code, right? Like that course number, credit hours, how many hours has to be learned for this subject, and department, which department, the department that offers the course, whether it is computer science department or mathematics and all like that. So these are the things which are where we need to define when we want to store certain records in a particular file. Okay. And we must also specify a data type for each data element within a record. So data type, you remember that for example, roll number. Roll number should be of what? Which data type? Number. Name, student name, if you are choosing, it should be what? The text or characters text type. Similarly, marks means number. Date of birth means date type. So whatever the data you are trying to store in a database file, you should define the data type for it. So for example, we can specify that name of student is a string of alphabetic characters, and student number of student is an integer, right? So you all have learned that. For example, just check here. Student name is a string of alphabetic characters. Student number of student is an integer. It should be an integer type. And grade of grade report sorry, is a single character. Okay, that is which one? The grade report may include A, B, C, D, F, I. So we have certain grade system for our results. So like it could be the, I mean, these are the options or these are the valid grade that is being assigned. So either of these characters can be stored in the which value? Grade. Okay. And so the following example which we are discussing, we represent the class of a student as 1 for freshman, 2 for sophomore, 3 for junior, 4 for senior and 5 for graduate. So these, as I told you, it is a foreign country based university pattern or the thing that is chosen. That is why the class of a student is represented with these meaning. But when you're telling that a student is a freshman, junior, senior, whatever, you're not specifying junior, senior. Instead, you're finding here one is the code for freshman, two is the code for sophomore, three is for junior, four is for senior. Okay, so class of a student is being represented by these integer numbers. Okay, and to construct the university database, we store data to represent each student, course, section, grade report and prerequisite as a record in the appropriate field. So now it is a university domain. Now you all have understood what are the information or data you are trying to store in student file, course file, which one, grade report. Okay, so now let us find the way the information is stored here. Okay. Now observe this. Hope it is visible for you all. So in the university domain, student file, course file and section file. So let me take the first one, student file. Here, when we have decided that in the university database, student records has to be stored. So what are the data that has to be stored in those records? What information has to be stored in the records? Observe here. we have planned the name should be stored, student number should be stored, class should be stored. Similarly, major, like the student has chosen which program. So these are the things we have decided to be stored in the student file. Okay, so I can tell that these are the properties what we have designed for a which file, student file. So name is one of the properties, student number, class, major, and here it's not simply defining the properties. You should also decide what type of what data type a name should hold. Student number should belong to which data type, class should belong to which data type, major should belong to which data type. Even that has to be taken care. So now observe here, according to the values you are seeing, name Smith Brown. So these are what the characters data type is, text type or the character type data type you have chosen for name. Student number, it is you are observing 17, 8 and also it means what they have chosen the integer data type or the number data type. And class, just now in our previous slide we discussed that if a student is a freshman, what is the code given? 1. If it is a sophomore, I mean second sophomore, third junior, fourth senior, right? So the code, the number code, class is chosen which data type? Number data type. And major, so it is what the text type. So a major means what? The student is chosen which program. So here it is computer science. Both the students have chosen computer science. Okay. So remember students, in this student file, you can store any number of records. Here only for the example purpose, only 2 records are being shown. So you can insert as many records you want. There is no restriction of size that you can store only 10 information, 100, in thousands. You can store any number of records. Okay. Now observe the second one, that is course. We have in the university domain, we have also decided to store which type of file, course file. So course file is what? It should hold the course information. So now we have to define this course file should store what type of information. See here. So course means of course a course name should be there. Okay, so if the university is providing many courses like computer science, which one, commerce, arts, many such courses. So there will be course name as well as there will be certain number, course number also. So you know the importance of roll number, right? Student, for students, many students means student number should be given. Similarly, many courses are there means along with the course name, a course number also should be given. So here just observe, we have defined course for the course file. Course name should be there, course number should be given. For each course a number should be given. Then credit hours, that is in the university per week, how many hours that course has to be which one taught and all, and which department the course comes under, which department. So department information. Okay, so these are the 4 properties that we have defined or planned to store in which file, course file. Now it is a time to decide which data type, which is a data type for course name. Observe here as a sample, they are showing how many 4 records stored here, right? So course name is Introduction to Computer Science, Data Structures, Discrete Mathematics, Database. So if it is a computer science program, so in the computer science program, these are the various subjects or the courses you find, course names. So Introduction to Computer Science, Data Structures, Discrete Mathematics, Database. So all these are of which type? Text type. Okay, then course number. See, for each subject is being what given with certain unique course number, right? Yes, all are different. All the course number are different from each other. It should not be same. Okay, it should be unique. Then credit hours, 4 hours, 4 hours. Mathematics 3 hours, database 3 hours. Department, Introduction to Computer Science, CS department. Data Structures, CS department. Maths, that is Mathematics, Maths department. Okay, then database, computer science department. Okay, so this is with the, which one? The course file. Okay, now the next is section. So what is this section? Section identifier you have, then course number, semester, year, instructor. So it is a file which is going to store these information. For example, that particular course, like it could be introduction to computer science, data structures, whichever. These subjects are introduced in which particular semester, okay, and which year currently that semester of in which particular semester, in which particular year, and who is a tutor or the instructor who is teaching that particular course. Okay, and listen here, the one thing you can observe here, CS1310 here, and here also CS1310. See, both are repeated. Yes, no problem. So here section identifier, this is what unique here. Section file, section identifier. So each section identifier is unique to one another. Okay. I hope you are following on what aspects they have stored the thing. So mathematics, it is like how we call the odd semester, even semester. They are using the term for the semester fall and spring. So in the fall semester, the mathematics come in the year 2000. I'm sorry. Yes, the last two digits of the year 2007, and the instructor is what name King is given. Similarly, course number computer science. And it is in which semester, fall semester, year, and the person who is teaching. And in the spring semester, the course number 3320, it is belonging to year 08, and some instructor is teaching it. Similarly, math in the semester, so another instructor. See, 2410 course number is repeated, but there are two instructors who are teaching the maths, King and Chang. Yes, and similarly 1310 here the fall semester, then Anderson is teaching, then 3380 fall semester 2008 Stone. So these are the instructors. So what is this course number? Observe here in the course file. So these course numbers you are finding the name of it. So 3380 database, 2410 is mathematics, data structures is what 3320, and 1310 is which one? The introduction to computer science. Okay, so and this is a way we are storing the information. So these may be the requirements to store the data in the database. Okay, now finally other two, that is the university database or domain may want to store the grade report as well as prerequisite. See, these are the other two files. What is this grade report? See, for normally the grades are issued for the student, right? So student, which student? So student number is recorded here. Okay, then section identifier, that is the fall semester, even semester. Okay, so this section identifier gives which information? That is, this student has taken which subject, taught by which instructors, and it falls under which semester, and all those information is given with the help of 112 or section identifier. So with that subject, the grade is B. Similarly, the same student number with section identifier 119, that is with subject, which particular tutor has taught in that subject, what is the grade that is being taken. Like this, the information is stored. So along with the student number, the section identifier gives the information about which course number, and which tutor has taught that particular subject, and it falls under which semester and year also, right? So these information is given with the help or recognized with the help of section identifier. So in our example, we have some 6 records stored here. Like that, any number of records can be stored. So as we observed, there are only 2 student records shown, Smith and Brown, right? So only those 2 students grade report are being shown. Okay, Then prerequisite, what is this file? So prerequisite means, listen, so course number and prerequisite number they have given. If you observe the information present in this table, um, left side as well as right side, both are what the course number itself you are finding, right? Yes, the meaning here is, if you want to go for the course number 3380, then you should study which one? 3320. Similarly, if you want to study 3380 course, you should study which one? Math 2410. Then if you want to study 3320, you should be aware of which subject? CS 1310. That is, Introduction to Computer Science should be first understood only to go for data structures or DBMS database, like that. So maths should be there, only then you can which one? Refer with subject. See here, 1310 is Introduction to Computer Science, 320 data structures, database 3380, right? So the meaning here is, database, if you have to study, you should understand data structure first, and database, if you want to study, you should be knowing maths. Then data structures, you should understand, means you should be studying the Introduction to Computer Science. So this is about the example of a database that stores student and course information. Okay. Okay students, in this session I have tried my best to show you one simple example of a student university based database and how the files are stored. Okay, so it is one example, rough example, so that you can understand more complex features of the database in the coming sessions. Okay, now in the next session we shall discuss about the characteristics. Okay, thank you. Have a nice day.